That looks a little bit different than the last time you saw it. I have been very busy with my new hydroponic garden. I've made a lot of changes, and I've also come up with a really awesome sprouting system that will have you kind of, you know, under a pile of veggies in a matter of 4 days. So today we're gonna do episode 3 of Sprout With Me. Let's talk about growing Kratky style hydroponic lettuces and vegetables, and also sprouting. Hey everybody, this is, oh man, it is too bright in here. There we go, that's a little better. This is our new Kratky hydroponic garden, and previously I set this up in a little kind of flimsy shelf thing that was breaking underneath the weight of all these growing vegetables. So I've replaced it. We have a really big shelf in here. This is something that Kay's dad built a long time ago. It's really structurally strong, and I have added a lot of plants to our garden here. I'm doing some experiments with this Kratky hydroponic system. I have some mason jars that are half-gallon jars. I also have some quart mason jars. I've painted some of them black. I've covered some with aluminum foil. I'm growing bib lettuce, I'm growing arugula. I'm even playing around with tomatoes right now. I've added some grow lights to this system. We're in a room that gets sunlight through a good part of the day. But if I want to have food as fast as possible, and I do right now because we are in that time period of this coronavirus where we don't really want to go to the supermarket. So I'm trying to get our salad, our lettuce, our vegetables to the point where we don't have to leave to get them. Hey kid. So I figured if I could speed up the process by adding some of my grow lights, that would help out. I'll have links below for all the equipment you see in this setup. If you're gonna make noise, you better add the cuteness to the video. This series we're doing, Sprout With Me. If you wanna check out all the episodes, it's right there. Click there to watch this playlist. The whole point of this series is to show you very easy ways to grow food for your family no matter where you are. Kratky Hydroponics is an incredibly simple way to grow food for your family. You can use grow lights if you don't have any natural sunlight. Those grow lights there, they're not that expensive. They're really not expensive at all. The price of grow lights have come down a lot. I'll have links below for those grow lights. One of those lights would grow you the whole group of lettuce you see here. I'm using a bunch of mason jars, but I wanted to show you this idea. You can take any container that you bought and emptied, like this applesauce, put a 20-cent net cup in the top, and there you go. You have a free container to grow in. Cover it with some aluminum foil, that doesn't cost very much, and you can start growing. I have been experimenting with a new nutrient solution, which is a lot easier to use than the last one I was using. This here is Texas tomato food. You add well, let me show you how you plant one of these, because it can't hurt to plant another one. Let's do one right now. All right, so we take a half-gallon mason jar and we're gonna fill that up to pretty much the top with water. Boom, water added. Now I take my mixture and I have to shake it for about a minute. Shaking it makes sure all the nutrients in the Texas tomato food are gonna be in our solution. Close enough. Okay, the next thing that I do, I pour into this little measuring cup. This is one of those cups that comes with like children's Motrin. It's just a very convenient little thing to pour into. 7.5 milliliters into a half-gallon mason jar. This is your plant food. I take a 3-inch CZ Garden net cup, fits right in the top of that guy. Then we're gonna put some clay pebbles in there. Just a thin layer of clay pebbles on the bottom. You can't put a seed directly into that setup. You need to start your seeds. I'm using a rock wool as a growing medium in this humidity dome. This is an awesome, really simple, easy way to start seeds. They've done incredibly well. I've had awesome success with everything except for spinach, which I'm gonna test out something else for spinach today. But, pull the top off the humidity dome. That humidity dome, you add, when you plant your seeds at first in the rock wool, all you have to do is pour a little bit of water in there, and the humidity dome makes a perfect humid environment for these seeds to do really well. We had really good generation rates. So we're gonna take, what do we got here today? It looks like all arugula. Let's plant an arugula, what do you say? Then we put some clay pebbles all the way around the sides of our rock wool. This will help wick water up into the rock wool and also shade out sunlight from above so that algae doesn't grow in our mason jar. Put the lid on, and then all I have to do for that one to be all done is wrap it in aluminum or paint it black. If I was gonna paint it, I would have already painted it. So that one we'll wrap in aluminum. And add that guy over there. Here's how I have this garden here organized. The things I planted first are to this side, and going backwards, we have succession planting. Now this is interesting. This is cool to see. These two arugula plants are the exact same age. We started these seeds all at once. One of them you can see though was transplanted much earlier into the nutrient. So that one is a lot further along. So you can do that for succession planting. You're not gonna be able to eat all of these on the same day. So you can start all your seeds in your humidity dome, and then I am planting, at first I planted 8 of them, then I planted 4 more, and now I'm planting like 2 to 4 a day, so that as time goes on, each day we'll have enough where we can eat it, but we won't have so much that it will go to waste. I am thrilled with how much our seeds have already grown. We planted these, let me tell you when. Those seedlings are a week. Is today Monday? Those seedlings have been planted. They were planted almost 2 weeks ago, and they have been transplanted. The biggest ones have been translated for a week and 2 days. So I'm thrilled with the amount of growth that we've got already, but here's just the facts. If you need food fast, it's been almost 2 weeks since we planted those seeds. There's not much food there. I want to show you my sprouting system, which will have you swimming in food in 4 days. So let me show you what I do. Take a quick break from hydroponics and sprouts to do our Homesteady camel train shout out. And today's shout out goes to Adam Incipio. Adam Incipio is located in Florida with a 5-acre homestead. He's currently in the permaculture design phase with a 200+ tree permaculture orchard. Adam Incipio has future plans for livestock so he can have a self-sufficient organic lifestyle. Adam, thank you for sponsoring this episode. Your one-of-a-kind Homesteady t-shirt is on the way. And although you can't join the camel train, the rest of you watching, you can both get Homesteady Pioneer membership and Homesteady clothing. Click there to become a pioneer. Link below for Homesteady clothing. Thanks for watching. Let's get back to growing plants. Okay, this is my simple sprouting setup that will have you swimming in food in 4 days. There is so much vegetable matter that's gonna go into your gut. Now, doesn't that sound delicious? Vegetable matter. It's kind of incredible what these sprouts do and how quickly you can have beautiful sprout salads. Literally in 4 days, you're gonna have a non-stop supply if you have enough of the sprouts and the system, and if you consume them as we do. Now, here's my warning. I'm gonna have links below to all this if it's available. A lot of these sprouts that I use currently are not available on Amazon, but I'll find the closest thing I possibly can and link you to that, so that if it's available, you can order some for you and your family. I have mung beans, I have some radish mix, and I have a broccoli mix. 6 ball jars. This is gonna be enough for 2 adults who like to use sprouts pretty much with every meal as like a side or in like a stir fry or to add to a salad. So you'll find what works for you and your family. But this is really, really simple. The first thing we're gonna do is we're just gonna put our sprouts into our mason jars. I have 6 mason jars. I bought these little screen lids on Amazon. I'll have a link to those. They sped up the process. Now you can use cloth, you can use all kinds of different things. These were not that expensive and they've sped things up and they work really great. So I like to use these little lids. I got 6 of them and I start 3 all at once. I'll start 3 different sprouts and then I will start 3 more in 2 days. So the first part of this Sprout With Me system, 3 jars, day 1. We'll start with mung beans. So there's our bag of mung beans, and I find you can do, because they are a larger seed and a larger sprout from them, you can do more of these than the other kind. Make sure when you're buying your sprouting seed, you're buying seed that is meant for sprouting, because seeds that are meant for planting sometimes can have coatings on them that are not fit to eat. So I like to buy organic sprouting seed that is specifically for sprouting. I will start with a 1/4 cup of mung beans. I go just a hair shy of the 1/4 cup. Next, we're gonna go with our radish mix. This radish mix is a nice little spicy addition to any of your sprout stir fries or salads. And I'm gonna do about half of this 1/4 cup, so it would be an 1/8 cup, but I just used a 1/4 cup scoop and I just pour about half of it in there. And I'm gonna do the same with the broccoli sprouts. We're gonna do about an 1/8 of a cup, but I'm just gonna keep it in the 1/4 cup scoop. That's good. I wanna talk about sprouts as an incredible like prepper food. For times like this when you don't wanna go to the supermarket because of this virus going around. You can store sprouts. This bag unopened, its expiration date is 2/22/2022. That's 2 years from now. If I kept this in a dark cabinet, this whole bag of sprouts could last me 2 years. If you actually eat sprouts and you keep a deep pantry's worth of sprouts for you and your family, put the newest things to the back and use the closest things to the front, you could have just like months and months worth of nutrient-rich, healthy vegetables that you can turn on like a switch and have flowing in 4 days for you and your family. At times like this, when you don't want to go to the supermarket because we got a pandemic, whatever the reason, you can keep that in a cabinet. It's an incredible resource, nutrient-rich, delicious, and here on our homestead right now, we're using our sprouts. We're eating them with our farm fresh eggs in the morning. We're eating them as a salad, which is a side to venison for dinner. You can use them in stir fries and soups. They go with almost anything. They're very simple to cook and eat. I just think it's an incredible resource to have on hand. And this jar, just a little bit of seed at the bottom, these jars will become full of vegetable matter. And as you eat them, you keep growing them and they just keep filling up. It's been incredible how easy this is to supplement your diet. I'll have eaten so much more sprouts by the time I get my first salad from a hydroponic garden. Still want to do that for the variety and having those vegetables in our diet as well. but this is fast and easy. Anybody can do this. Next thing we got to do is fill these with water. Soaking right now. Gonna throw our little lids on. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our sprouting seeds, we're gonna put them in a dark cabinet for 8 or more hours. You'll see a lot of people say to do it for 8 hours. I've done mine completely overnight and nothing, no problems, it's all good. So those are in a dark cabinet for 8 hours. What do you do now? Well, you let those soak overnight. This next batch, you don't want to start because then you're going to have too many. You can't eat them all at once. I like to keep my sprouts kind of on a sprout treadmill where they keep coming at you as they get to their perfect state. You're eating them, and by the time those ones are gone, the next ones are coming into that perfect ripe spot. They do have a different, technically, when they ripen, the mung beans versus the other ones, but I find, just to keep this simple, if you replicate my system here, by day 4, we'll start to eat these. Round 2 will then be ready. Sure, maybe, you know, maybe the broccoli would go better, a little bit better the next day, but I really don't find much of a difference. By day 4, it's all tasting good, and by day 5, they're gone, and the next wave starts. So 6 mason jars, start 3. Tomorrow we're gonna dump that water, we're gonna rinse the beans, and then at that point we're gonna be sprouting. And that's what this is for. I use this tray here as my sprouting tray. We're gonna take our jars, and for sprouting you don't wanna leave water in there. This is a Sunblaster seed tray. It's got all these little divots which are kind of perfect for the rims of your ball jar to just get stuck in. So I go like this, and I have 3 on one side, and then the other 3 that are now soaking will be on this side. And each day I just take them out, dump the water out of here, clean it out, and then I put them back in, and I keep them in a corner out of direct sunlight. So the basic sprouting schedule, I start my first group of sprouts on day 1. On day 3, I start the second batch. Day 4, I'm eating the sprouts from the first batch, and by day 6, those sprouts are gone, but the second batch we start eating, and we keep repeating the process. One little note, if you're new at this, you'll probably make the mistake I made last week. I saw a bunch of little, what looked like mold growing on my first batch, and I threw them all away. There's a difference between mold and little fine roots that are growing out of some of the sprouts. The little fine roots are white, they don't have a bad smell. So if you think yours are moldy, take a harder look, and I'll have a link below to a really good article that explains the difference between mold or plant roots that are really fine and look like mold. Once I realized what was going on, I found all my sprouts were doing great. And we've been buried in sprouts, we've been adding them to all our different meals. So that's the simple system. Like I said, links below to everything. That should take care of 2 adults. If you keep up on that process, as you finish the 3, you restart them while you enjoy the ones that are fresh. You have 2 groups, Group A and Group B. And as you're eating Group A, Group B is sprouting. Then you start eating Group B and you restart Group A. And you just keep going like that. And you can literally have enough vegetable matter to do salads, stir fries, whatever you like to use sprouts for. You'll find ways to put them in basically all your meals. Times like this, it's good to have it because it just adds more vegetables to every meal when you're stuck at home, you don't want to go to the supermarket. And when this weird virus goes away and everything's kind of back to normal, sprouts are a really healthy, nutritious thing to add to your diet, and you can just enjoy them. and keep them in the cupboard for when, you know, times are tough. It's a good way to store. How else can you store so many vegetables? You know, for preppers out there, you can store rice and beans, and you can store flour and carbohydrates and noodles, but it's really hard to store bulk vegetables. If you have a root cellar, you can put some of your root veggies down there, but you can't store like salad greens. It's just not feasible. And it's a bummer to go 2 months without having that good, healthy food, especially if there's a virus going around. You want to have that good, healthy, nutrient-rich food to keep you healthy. So sprouts are just an incredible way to have food fast for your family. Try it out. Let me know in the comments below if you're gonna sprout with me. And like I said, I have links to all the stuff. They're affiliate links. If you use our links, it helps us do this show. We appreciate it. If you do any shopping on Amazon, if you click that link right there, or you type in amsteady.com before you go there, it will forward you on to Amazon. We'll make a small commission for any purchase you make, not just the links we share. And that small commission helps us produce this show. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in another video.